So this is our first day over MySQL Workbench software. So we will start with DDL commands. DDL stands for Data Definition Language Command, which used to define the database, tables, columns. Basically, DDL command is used to define the structure of the database. Let's start querying to create a database. First of all, creating database. Okay, this is the comment I am giving here. Now let's type the query. As we already discussed, for creating database or creating table, we have a syntax that is create, which is a reserved keyword for creating database in SQL terminology. Okay. Create database. Let's take the name. Let's take, we can take any custom name for our database. Okay, so let's say I'm taking sales. Okay, let's run the query. So for running query, what you need to do, select the entire query and just click on this button. Okay, so it will run your query. Okay, so it is showing can't create sales database because it is already exist. Okay, let's change the name because it is already exist. I'm taking sale only. And now you can see the database is successfully created. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, after creating the database, the first thing we need to do is just using that database to make it in active mode so that we can perform any operation over that particular database. So I'm adding second command using database. Now, so we can use command for using database. The database name is sale. Okay, so this query will use this sale database. Now we can create the table. So whatever the query you will run, you will get the action output in bottom of the screen. If the query is successfully executed, it will show green tick. If there is any error, it will show red cross. Now let's create a table. So in DDL, we learned creating database, creating table. So already we have created the database. Now it's time to create a table. So create table. Okay. Let's type it in creating table. I'm adding the comment. Now let's use the again create keyword for creating table. Create table. Let's take any name for your table. Like I'm taking customers. This is my table name. Now let's start with making columns in uh, round brackets. The first column will be, let's take name, customer name. Okay, I'm taking customer name as the first column, and we need to define its data type. I'm defining varchar, so it can take all the alphabets. Okay, and let's give the limit, so it will contain only 32 characters in it. Now I want to give a constraint here that customer name will not contain any null value. So I'm going to give a constraint as not null. Okay. Now let's take another column, age, and I want the data type as integer because age value will be in numbers. That's why I'm taking integer data type here. Now let's take another column as address. So in address, I'm taking the varchar data type. Let's take in 32 character in it. Let's take a column as customer ID. Okay. Now I want to define it as int. Okay. It will also not null. Let's take the last column as salary. Okay, salary will be again integer data type. Now just close the bracket, then the semicolon. Now let's run this query. So you can see our table is now successfully created. You can see in the action output as well, the query is successfully executed. Now, if we want to see the structure of our schema design, structure of our table, okay, if I want to see the structure of my table, so I can use the command desc. It will display the structure of the table. How many columns does it contain? What are the constraints? The number of column, everything. Okay, so it will just display the structure of your table. Just type DESC customer. It will describe the customer table basically. So we can see in our table we have customer name field, which has a data type as varchar, and null constraint is no. It means it will not contain null value. If we see this age column, so the data type is integer, but it can contain null value. Okay, we can uh, leave some value as a null. Okay? It will not give any error to us. Now again address the varchar data type, and it can also take null value. Customer ID is an integer data type and it will not take any null value in it. Okay, so basically this is our table. Now we are done with the create. So let's move to the next second command, that is alter. So the second DDL command is alter, which is basically used for making any modification in your table. Okay. So, let's see. In our table, we forgot to define the primary key. Okay. So now we can add a primary key using alter command, because as we already discussed, alter is used to make the modification in the schema, modification in the table or in the column. Okay. So we can add a primary key using alter command. So let's do it. Alter the table name customers. What we want to do? We want to constraint, add a constraint, and the constraint name is primary key.
Primary.
Okay, and over which column I want to apply this primary key? Over customer ID.
ID.
Okay. I'm taking customer ID as a primary key. That okay. So I'm repeating this query once again. I am altering the structure of my table customer using alter table command. I'm adding a constraint, the primary key over the customer ID column. So this is the whole query means. Now let's run this query. You can see the query is successfully executed. One more thing, you are noticing here that the SQL querying are just similar like the English language, right? They are not
Yes, sir.
so much programming language types. So they are just basic, similar like English languages. So now I have added the primary key. So again, I'm going to describe the table, cross check that the primary key is added or not. So describe table customers. You can see now in this key column, there is a PRI against customer ID column. So it means customer ID column is now a primary key of this table. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I want to add a column in my table. Let's type a comment. I want to do, I want to add a new column in my table. So again, if I want to add a new column, what I need to do, I have to use alter command because it will helps to modify the table structure. So let's alter table name is customers, add. Now what we want to add? We want to add column. Let's take the column name as employer. Let's take its data type as varchar. So here what I am doing, I am altering the structure of table customer, adding a column employer and giving the data type as varchar. Let's run this. Now again, let's describe the table. To check the column, describe the table, or like for running the query, you can just select the whole query and just type control plus enter. It will also execute your query. So here, yeah, we can see in the last, the column is added as employer, which have data type as varchar. So we have successfully added a new column into this table. I hope this is clear to you.
Yes, sir.
So we have covered two DDL commands. The first one is create, which is used for creating database table, and the second one is alter, which is used to make the modification in the table. So we add the primary key in the table. We add a new column in the table. Now the third DDL command, that is drop. So let's start dropping a column using drop command. Dropping. I'm adding the comment here as topic column. Okay. Now again, I want to drop. Let's suppose I want to drop this employer column from my table. So where I want to drop from the table. So if I want to make any modification in the table, first of all, I need to use alter command. Okay, because alter is used for making modification in table. Then I will use drop to drop the column. Alter table customer, and what I want to do, I want to drop
Drop.
column which is employer. That's it. Just this query, you can see query is successfully executed. So let's describe the table again. So drop employer, check that key exists. It is showing some error. Let me run once again. Yeah, now you can see. So you can see there is no column is present in this table as employer because it is successfully dropped from the table, right?
Yes, sir.
You can see there is no column as employer in this table. Na? It means it is successfully deleted from this table. Now I want to drop the entire table. Okay. Using drop command, we can delete the entire table also. Dropping table. So we can use directly drop command here, drop table, because right now we are not going inside the table. We just want to drop the entire table. So I will directly use drop command here to drop table customers. So you can see now the query is successfully executed. Okay, but here is one important thing. It is a very, you can say, sensitive command. Okay, so always be sure about dropping the table, because once you done it, then you can't undo this query. Okay, once the table will be removed, you cannot take it back. So this is a sensitive command. Even most of the company will not give you the access to use the DDL commands, okay, or to use
Yes, sir.
drop, okay, because it will delete the entire table of the company. Na? So no company will provide you the access of these types of commands, but just for the knowledge, we are performing these activities. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now I want to drop the entire schema to dropping database. Just type drop database, and the database name is sale. Now you can see we have successfully dropped this database. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So we have learned all the DDL commands, create, and then alter, and then last one is drop. Now let's move to the next type of SQL language, that is DML, data manipulation language. So in DML, we have again three types of command: insert, update, and delete. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first of all, make a table, because DDL commands are used to insert the data, to update the data, or to delete the data. So before inserting the data, we need to create the database. We need to create the tables. Okay. So I'm going to create the database quickly. Okay. Previous one is already dropped. So let's create database as its name is demand. Okay, run this query. Okay, we have created a database. Let's use it on. Now let's create the table. Let's take the table name as transportation. I'm making a column. Ship mode. Data type as varchar. Can take 25 characters. Now let's take second one. Vehicle company. Data type again as varchar. 25. Let's skip the next column. Tool required. And the data type will be Boolean. It means it will take true or false type of values. 0 or 1, you can say. Let's create the table. The table is now successfully created. We start with DML commands, data manipulation language. So the first DML command is insert, which is used to insert the data into your table. Let's add a command inserting records. Now let's type the query insert into table name. The table name is transportation, and the value will be here in the round brackets. The first column is ship mode. So I'm giving the first value for ship mode as uh, delivery type. You can specify the values in single inverted comma or either in double inverted comma also. So the value is delivery type. This is the first value. Then the second value will be For vehicle company, let's take the Ashok Leland company. And the third column is tool required, which take Boolean value. So I'm giving here a false. Okay, false will not come under single inverted comma and directly write false. Okay, so this is the first record that I am inserting in my table. So let's run this query. Okay, record is successfully inserted. Now let's insert one row also. This is just a first row. I'm inserting second row here. Let's take the value as regular here. Okay, for second column, for the company, I'm taking Air India, and for last column, again I'm taking false. Let's run this. Okay, so I have inserted two rows in my table. Okay, if I want to see my table, I need to use select query to read it. Select asterisk from transportation table. It will display your entire table. So you can see there is two records inserted in this table. First one is uh, ship mode is delivery truck. The vehicle company is Ashok Leland, and for false it is showing 0. It means
Z.
for true it will show 1. Now the second record is regular air. Vehicle company is Air India, and toll required is 0. So this is the first DML command that we have covered to insert the data in our table. The command is insert. Now, the second DML command is update. So let's take uh, any data point to for updating. Okay. So let's suppose I want to change all the value in toll required column as true. Right now, the values are false, but what I want to do, I want to make all the values in toll required column as true. So let's make a query. What I am doing, I am updating records. I am adding the comment here. So let's use the update command. Date. I want to update my table transportation. I want to set the column. Which column? Toll required
So it.
as what? As true. Okay. So what I am doing here. I am updating transportation table, setting toll required column values as true. So let's run this. The query is successfully executed. Now let's again select the table transportation. Okay, so you can see now the values are changed. So in toll required column, all the values are converted to true, which means 1. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now let's add one more condition here. I want to, let's suppose I want to make false for tool required where the ship mode is a regular air. Is this clear? The problem is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's update transportation. I want to set toll required equals to true where the ship mode where the ship mode is equals to what? Is equals to
Regular array.
sorry, regular air, right? Regular air. Correct, correct. This is the problem. Okay. Here I am updating only the column which only I am updating tool required as true where the ship mode is regular air. So here I am not updating all the values for tool required. I am just updating a single value where the ship mode is regular air. So let's run this query. Sorry, just type here all already true. Now let's select the table. Yeah. Now you can see the value for toll required against the ship mode regular air is false, right? And you can take it in another sense always also, like in air there is no toll tax and no aeroplane will pay that toll in the air, right? Only the vehicle which runs on land, they will needs to pay the toll, right? That's why the
Yes,
value
sir.
here is true and the value here for the regular air is false.
False.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now the last DML command is delete, so which is used to delete the record from the table, right? So let's use deleting record. I'm making the command deleting records. So here I want to delete the entire record where vehicle company is Air India. Clear? So let's make the query delete from transportation where the vehicle company is equals to Air India, right?
Yes, sir.
We want to delete this entire record from our table. Now let's select the table again. Is there why it is giving the error? Yeah, the query is correct, but due to some issue, it will not executing it. Now it's successfully executed. So now you can see, now we are just left with only one record for the vehicle company Ashok Leland. It means the vehicle company having Air India, that record is successfully deleted from our table. Here, or see,
Yes, sir.
if I will run this query, delete strict from transportation, see what it will do without specifying any condition. Again, it is giving error.
Sir, you didn't keep the semicolon in 60th line.
Okay. Okay. I think there is some issue in the software now. It is mm, just remove a stick here. Now let's try it. I think it will help. Yeah, okay. So we do not need to specify asterisk if we want to remove all the record from the table. Okay. Now if you see the table, transportation, see, you can see there is no record in this table. It means if you execute this query, it will remove all the record from your table. Either it is containing 1,000, 10,000, lakhs, millions. It will delete entire records from your table. Okay, if you will run this query before specifying any condition like the previous one. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So today we have covered all the DDL commands, all the DML command on this MySQL workbench. Okay, this is all for today.